The National Hockey League witnessed something extraordinary in 2005. Two teenagers entered the league just months apart, carrying the weight of a sport desperate for new stars. Sidney Crosby from Nova Scotia and Alexander Ovechkin from Moscow will become a defining rivalry of modern hockey. Crosby arrived as a first overall draft pick, labeled the next one before he even played his first professional game. The Pittsburgh Penguins selected him with hopes of saving a struggling franchise. 3 picks later, the Washington Capitals chose Ovechkin, a powerful Russian winger with a rocket shot and an infectious smile. Neither player knew they would spend the next 2 decades pushing each other toward greatness. The numbers tell part of their story. Crosby has collected over 1,500 career points and 3 Stanley Cup championships. Ovechkin became the greatest goal scorer of his generation, surpassing 800 career goals and finally capturing his elusive Stanley Cup in 2018. Both players earned multiple Hart trophies as the league's most valuable player. Both became captains of their teams and leaders of their countries in international competition. But statistics alone cannot capture what made their rivalry special. These 2 players represented different approaches to hockey excellence. Crosby became known for his complete game, his ability to make teammates better, and his clutch performances in the biggest moments. Ovechkin built his reputation on pure scoring power, highlight reel goals, and an aggressive style that changed how the game was played. Their careers became intertwined from the moment they entered the league. Every achievement by one seemed to motivate the other. Every award ceremony featured both names in consideration. Every playoff run was measured against what the other had accomplished. For nearly 20 years, hockey fans have debated who was better, but a real answer is that both players reached their peaks because of each other. This is the story of 10 moments that define not just their rivalry, but an entire era of hockey. These moments show how 2 young players from different worlds created one of sport's greatest competitions, and how their pursuit of individual excellence elevated the entire sport. The year 2005 marked a turning point for professional hockey. The NHL had just emerged from a devastating lockout that canceled an entire season. Fans were angry, attendance was down, and the sport needed something to rebuild its reputation. Television ratings had dropped to dangerous levels, and many questioned whether hockey could recover its place among major North American sports. Into this uncertain landscape came the 2005 NHL entry draft. The league had implemented a new lottery system to determine draft order, and the Pittsburgh Penguins won the right to select first overall. Their choice was obvious to everyone who followed hockey. Sidney Crosby had dominated junior hockey like few players before him, scoring 168 points in 62 games during his final season with the Rimouski Oceanic. At just 17 years old, he was already being compared to Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. The Washington Capitals held the 4th overall pick and faced their own franchise-defining decision. Alexander Ovechkin had been tearing up Russian professional hockey, becoming the youngest player ever to score for the Russian national team. His combination of size, speed, and shooting ability made him unlike any prospect scouts had ever evaluated. Some experts argued he was the most talented player in the entire draft. The expectations placed on both players were enormous. Crosby was marketed as hockey's savior, the player who could bring casual fans back to the sport. The NHL created special rules to showcase his talents and even moved his debut game to a Wednesday night to maximize television exposure. Ovechkin faced similar pressure as the Capitals hoped he could transform their struggling franchise and help grow hockey's popularity in the American market. Neither player disappointed in their early professional appearances. Crosby made his NHL debut on October 5, 2005 against the New Jersey Devils, recording an assist on his first shot attempt. Ovechkin scored twice in his first game against the Columbus Blue Jackets just 1 day later. The stage was set for a rivalry that would define hockey for the next generation. What made their competition unique was how differently they approached the game. Crosby was a traditional playmaker who could score goals but preferred setting up teammates. He studied video constantly, preparing for every possible situation. Ovechkin was pure goal scorer who played with joy and emotion, celebrating every big hit and spectacular goal with childlike enthusiasm. Their contrasting styles created natural debate among fans and media about which approach was more valuable. Number 10. First NHL Meeting, November 4th, 2005. The hockey world had been waiting for this moment since draft day. Sidney Crosby and Alexander Ovechkin would face each other for the first time as professional players when the Pittsburgh Penguins visited the Washington Capitals on November 4th, 2005. The game represented more than just another regular season matchup between 2 struggling teams. It was the first chapter in what would become hockey's defining rivalry. Media attention surrounding the game was unprecedented for a November November contest between two non-playoff teams. Sports networks devoted entire segments to analyzing how the rookies would match up against each other. Newspapers ran detailed comparisons of their junior hockey statistics and playing styles. The NHL marketing department promoted the game as a glimpse into the future of professional hockey. Both players understood the significance of the moment. Crosby had struggled somewhat in his first month, managing just 4 goals in his first 14 games while adjusting to the speed and physicality of professional hockey. Ovechkin had been more consistent early in the season, already establishing himself as a dangerous scorer with his powerful shot from the left wing. The game itself lived up to the anticipation. Crosby recorded 2 assists and showed flashes of the playmaking ability that made him special. His vision and passing accuracy were on full display as he created scoring chances for teammates throughout the contest. Ovechkin responded with a goal and demonstrated the explosive skating and shooting that will become his trademark. His goal came on a powerful wrist shot from his favorite spot in the left circle, beating the goaltender cleanly to the far side. Pittsburgh won the game 5-4 in a back-and-forth affair that showcased both players' talents. More importantly, the contest established a framework for their future meetings. Crosby's team-first approach contrasted perfectly with Ovechkin's individual brilliance. Neither player dominated completely, suggesting their rivalry would feature many more closely contested battles. The aftermath of the game revealed how much both players respected each other's abilities. Crosby praised Ovechkin's shot and physical presence in post-game interviews. Ovechkin acknowledged Crosby's hockey intelligence and ability to control the pace of play. Their mutual respect would become a defining characteristic of their rivalry, even as competitive fire drove them to outperform each other. This first meeting established several patterns that would define their encounter for years to come. Both players elevated their games when facing each other, often producing their best statistical performances in head-to-head matchups. The media coverage and fan interest surrounding their meetings consistently exceeded normal regular season games. Most importantly, both players seemed to genuinely enjoy the challenge of competing against someone of equal talent and ambition. Number 9. 2006 Calder Trophy Race. The race for the 2006 Calder Trophy as the NHL's top rookie became a season-long battle between Crosby and Ovechkin that captivated hockey fans across North America. Both players had entered the league with enormous expectations, but their rookie campaigns exceeded even the most optimistic projections. The award would go to whichever player could prove he was truly the best young talent in professional hockey. Ovechkin established himself as the early frontrunner with a spectacular start to the season. His combination of goals and highlight reel plays made him an immediate fan favorite. He scored his first NHL hat trick in December against the Los Angeles Kings and followed it with several more multi-goal performances. His 52 goals led all rookies by a significant margin and ranked 6th among all NHL players. Ovechkin's physical style and emotional celebrations brought energy to a Capitals team that had struggled for years. Crosby took a different approach to rookie excellence. While his goal total of 39 was impressive, his 63 assists demonstrated his unique ability to make teammates better. He led the Penguins in scoring despite being the youngest player on the roster. His hockey intelligence and clutch performances in important games showed maturity beyond his 18 years. Crosby's 102 total points made him just the 7th rookie in NHL history to reach the 100-point milestone. The media coverage of their rookie battle intensified as the season progressed. Hockey analysts debated whether goal scoring or overall point production was more valuable for a rookie. Ovechkin supporters pointed to his game-changing ability and immediate impact on attendance figures wherever he played. Crosby's backers emphasized his complete game and leadership qualities that transformed Pittsburgh from a last-place team into a competitive franchise. Both players raised their games during the final months of the season as the Calder Trophy race tightened. Ovechkin finished with 106 points, becoming the first rookie since Mario Lemieux to surpass 100 points and 50 goals in the same season. Crosby's 102 points made him the youngest player in NHL history to reach that milestone. Their statistical battle created daily storylines for sports media and kept fans engaged throughout a long regular season. The voting results reflected how close the competition had become. Ovechkin won the Calder Trophy with 124 first-place votes compared to Crosby's 85, but the margin was much closer than the vote count suggested. Many voters struggled to choose between two players who had both exceeded expectations in different ways. The debate over who deserved the award continued long after the ceremony ended. This rookie battle established both players as genuine superstars and proved the NHL had found two generational talents. More importantly, it showed that their rivalry would be built on mutual respect and shared excellence rather than personal animosity. Both players congratulated each other publicly and acknowledged that competing against such high-level talent had made them better players. Number 8. 2016 World Cup of Hockey Showdown. The 2016 World Cup of Hockey provided a unique international stage for Crosby and Ovechkin to compete against each other in a best-on-best tournament. This competition marked the first time since the 2010 Olympics that both players would represent their countries in a major international event. The tournament format created multiple opportunities for direct confrontation between the two superstars. Team Canada entered the tournament as favorites, built around Sidney Crosby's leadership and two-way excellence. At 29 years old, Crosby was in the prime of his career and had already established himself as one of the most successful playoff performers in NHL history. Canadian officials named him captain, recognizing his ability to elevate his game during important competitions and inspire teammates to perform at their highest level. Team Russia featured Alexander Ovechkin as their emotional leader and primary offensive weapon. His goal-scoring ability and physical presence made him the focal point of Russia's game plan throughout the tournament. Russian coaches designed their system to maximize Ovechkin's shooting opportunities while utilizing his leadership qualities to motivate younger players on the roster. The preliminary round meeting between Canada and Russia became the most anticipated game of the tournament. Both teams entered the contest undefeated and needed a victory to secure favorable positioning for the elimination rounds. The game featured intense checking, spectacular goaltending, and individual brilliance from both superstars that reminded fans why their rivalry was so compelling. Crosby dominated the face-off circle and created numerous scoring chances through his exceptional vision and passing ability. His defensive play and leadership on the ice helped Canada control the pace of the game for long stretches. Ovechkin countered with several dangerous scoring opportunities and used his physical presence to intimidate Canadian defenders throughout the contest. The game remained close throughout regulation time, with both goaltenders making spectacular saves to keep their teams competitive. Crosby scored a crucial goal in the third period that demonstrated his ability to perform in clutch situations during international competition. Ovechkin responded with increased intensity and nearly tied the game with a blast from his favorite shooting position. Canada won the preliminary game and eventually captured the World Cup championship, with Crosby earning tournament MVP honors for his outstanding performance throughout the competition. His leadership and clutch scoring in elimination games proved once again that he excelled on hockey's biggest stages. The victory added another major international championship to his already impressive resume. For Ovechkin, the tournament disappointment continued a pattern of international setbacks that had defined his career. Despite strong individual performances, his teams consistently fell short in major competitions. The World Cup loss motivated him to continue pursuing international success and proved that his rivalry with Crosby extended beyond NHL competition into the international arena. Number 7. 2009 Stanley Cup Playoffs. Penguins vs. Capitals. The 2009 Stanley Cup Playoffs delivered the matchup hockey fans had been waiting for since 2005. The Pittsburgh Penguins and Washington Capitals met in the Eastern Conference semifinals, marking the first time Crosby and Ovechkin would face each other in playoff series. Both teams had built their rosters around their superstars, and both franchises believed this was their year to capture the Stanley Cup. The regular season had set the stage perfectly for this playoff confrontation. Washington finished with 108 points, winning the Southeast Division behind Ovechkin's league-leading 56 goals. Pittsburgh earned 99 points and demonstrated improved team chemistry around Crosby's playmaking abilities. Both teams had added veteran players and depth scoring to complement their young stars, creating legitimate Stanley Cup contenders. Game 1 in Washington established the intensity that would define the entire series. Ovechkin scored twice in the first period, showcasing the explosive offensive ability that made him so dangerous in big games. His second goal came on a trademark blast from the left circle that beat Penguins goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury cleanly. Crosby responded with 2 assists and demonstrated his ability to elevate teammates' performances under playoff pressure. The series became a tactical battle between 2 different hockey philosophies. Washington relied heavily on Ovechkin's goal-scoring ability and tried to establish physical dominance through hits and aggressive forechecking. Pittsburgh used Crosby's vision and hockey intelligence to create scoring chances through precise passing and team play. Each game featured adjustments and counter-adjustments as both coaching staffs tried to gain advantages. Individual performances by both superstars reached extraordinary levels throughout the 7-game series. Ovechkin finished with 8 goals and 14 points, playing some of the best hockey of his career when his team needed him most. Crosby contributed 6 goals and 13 points while adding defensive responsibility and leadership that helped Pittsburgh win crucial games. Their statistical battle captivated fans and demonstrated why both players were considered generational talents. The series turned on special teams play and goaltending rather than individual brilliance from either superstar. Pittsburgh's power play converted key opportunities while their penalty kill prevented Washington from capitalizing on their chances. Marc-Andre Fleury made several crucial saves in elimination games, while Washington's goaltending struggled in pivotal moments. Pittsburgh won the series in 7 games, advancing to the Eastern Conference Final and eventually capturing the Stanley Cup. The victory established Crosby as a playoff performer who could deliver championships, while Ovechkin faced questions about his ability to succeed in elimination games. This playoff series became a defining moment that would influence narratives about both players for years to come. Number 6. The Winter Classic Battles, 2008-2011. The NHL Winter Classic provided 2 memorable outdoor encounters between Crosby and Ovechkin that showcased their rivalry on hockey's grandest regular season stage. These outdoor games combined the spectacle of unique venues with the individual excellence that made their matchups must-see television for hockey fans around the world. The 2008 Winter Classic at Ralph Wilson Stadium in Buffalo marked the first time both superstars played in the league's signature outdoor event. The game was played in front of over 71,000 fans and a national television audience that exceeded normal regular season viewership. The outdoor setting in frigid temperatures created a unique atmosphere that reminded fans of hockey's roots on frozen ponds and outdoor rinks. Crosby entered the 2008 Winter Classic during his remarkable 120-point season, demonstrating the offensive production that would earn him his first Hart Trophy. His playmaking ability and leadership qualities were on full display throughout the contest as he adapted to the challenging outdoor conditions. The game provided him with another opportunity to perform on a national stage and showcase his talents to casual sports fans. Ovechkin used the 2008 Winter Classic as a platform to display his explosive skating and powerful shot in front of the massive crowd. His aggressive style and emotional celebrations were perfectly suited for the outdoor spectacle, bringing energy and excitement to every shift. The game allowed him to demonstrate why he had become one of the most popular players in the NHL. Pittsburgh won the 2008 Winter Classic in a shootout, with Crosby contributing key plays throughout regulation and overtime. His performance in the unique setting showed his ability to adapt to different conditions and maintain his high level of play regardless of circumstances. The victory added another memorable moment to his growing collection of signature performances. The 2011 Winter Classic at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh provided an even more dramatic setting for their rivalry. Playing in Crosby's hometown in front of over 68,000 fans created enormous pressure and expectations for Penguins captain. The game was billed as a showcase for Pittsburgh's franchise player in his home city's most famous venue. Ovechkin embraced his role as the visiting superstar trying to spoil Pittsburgh's outdoor celebration. His goal-scoring ability and physical presence made him a constant threat throughout the contest, keeping Washington competitive despite playing in a hostile environment. The outdoor setting seemed to energize his aggressive playing style and bring out his best competitive instincts. The 2011 Winter Classic became an instant classic due to its dramatic finish and individual brilliance from both players. The game required multiple overtimes before a winner was determined, providing extended opportunity for both superstars to create memorable moments. The marathon contest kept fans engaged throughout nearly 4 hours of hockey. These Winter Classic encounters demonstrated how their rivalry transcended normal regular season games and became cultural events that attracted mainstream sports attention. Both players understood the significance of these outdoor spectacles and consistently elevated their performances when playing in front of massive crowds and national television audiences. The outdoor games also showed how their different personalities and playing styles created natural storylines for casual fans. Crosby's composed leadership contrasted perfectly with Ovechkin's emotional intensity, giving viewers easy narratives to follow throughout the contests. These differences made their Winter Classic meetings appointment television for hockey fans and sports enthusiasts alike. Number 5. 2010 Olympics Gold Medal Game. The 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver provided the ultimate stage for Crosby and Ovechkin to compete against each other. Both players had been selected as key members of their national teams, with Canada and Russia entering the tournament as medal favorites. The stakes could not have been higher, as Olympic gold represented the pinnacle of international hockey achievement. Team Canada built their roster around Crosby's playmaking ability and leadership qualities. At 22 years old, he was among the youngest players players on a veteran-heavy team that included established stars like Jarome Iginla, Joe Thornton, and Roberto Luongo. Canadian officials believed Crosby's hockey intelligence and clutch performance ability would be crucial in elimination games. His role was to create scoring chances for teammates while providing defensive responsibility in key situations. Team Russia featured Ovechkin as their primary offensive weapon and emotional leader. His explosive skating and powerful shot made him a constant threat to score from anywhere on the ice. Russian coaches designed their system to maximize Ovechkin's goal-scoring opportunities while utilizing his physical presence to intimidate opponents. The team's success would largely depend on his ability to produce goals in crucial moments. The tournament unfolded as expected for both players through preliminary rounds. Crosby contributed steady two-way play and timely assists while helping Canada maintain their perfect record. Ovechkin scored spectacular goals and energized his teammates with his passionate celebrations and aggressive play. Both teams advanced to the medal rounds as top seeds in their respective brackets. The semifinal game set up the dream final that hockey fans had hoped to see. Canada defeated Slovakia in a hard-fought contest that required Crosby to play increased minutes and defensive responsibility. Russia eliminated Finland in their semifinal, with Ovechkin scoring a crucial goal that demonstrated his ability to perform under pressure. The stage was set for a Canada versus Russia gold medal game, featuring the two best young players in the world. The gold medal game became one of the most memorable contests in Olympic hockey history. Both teams played cautious, defensive hockey that limited scoring chances and kept the game close throughout regulation time. Crosby and Ovechkin were closely marked by opposing defenders, preventing either player from dominating the contest. The game remained tied 2-2 after 3 periods, forcing sudden death overtime. The overtime period lasted just 7 minutes and 40 seconds before Sidney Crosby scored a golden goal that gave Canada the Olympic championship. His goal came on a perfect shot from the left face-off circle after receiving a pass from Jarome Iginla. The moment represented the pinnacle of Crosby's international career and established him as a clutch performer on hockey's biggest stage. For Ovechkin, the loss was devastating. He had played well throughout the tournament, but could not deliver the goal-scoring performance Russia needed in the final game. The defeat would motivate him for years to come and intensify his desire to prove himself in future international competitions. The contrasting emotions of triumph and heartbreak perfectly captured the essence of the Crosby-Ovechkin rivalry. Number 4. Milestone Chase, Ovechkin 700 versus Crosby's 1,000 assist. The pursuit of career milestones provided another compelling chapter in the Crosby-Ovechkin rivalry as both players approached historic achievements that would cement their places as hockey's all-time greats. Ovechkin's chase for 700 career goals and Crosby's pursuit of 1,000 career assists represented different paths to excellence and created parallel storylines that captivated hockey fans. Alexander Ovechkin entered the 2019-20 season needing just 31 goals to reach the 700-goal milestone, a plateau achieved by only 8 players in NHL history. His remarkable consistency as a scorer had made this achievement seem inevitable, but the significance of joining such an ex-group added pressure and excitement to every game he played. Sidney Crosby approached the same season needing 57 assists to reach 1,000 career assists, a milestone that would make him just the 13th player in NHL history to achieve that mark. His playability and vision had always been his greatest strengths, and reaching 1,000 assists would validate his reputation as one of the game's premier setup men. The media coverage surrounding both milestone chases created daily storylines throughout the season. Hockey analysts debated which achievement was more impressive and significant for hockey history. Ovechkin's goal-scoring pursuit captured more attention due to its rare, while Crosby's assist chase highlighted his unique ability to make teammates better throughout his career. Ovechkin reached 700 goals first, achieving the milestone on February 22, 2020 against the New Jersey Devils. His 700 goal came on a defense that showcased his ability to score from anywhere near the net. The achievement was celebrated throughout the hockey world and established him as one of the greatest pure scorers in the sport's history. The milestone moved him past several legendary players and put him within striking distance of Wayne Gretzky's all-time record. Crosby reached 1,000 on February 2, 2020 against the Winnipeg Jets, accomplishing the feat at age 32, demonstrating remarkable longevity as an elite playmaker. His 1,000 assists came perfectly executed pass that created a scoring chance for a teammate, perfectly illustrating the skill that had defined his career. The milestone made him the youngest player to reach 1,000 since Wayne Gretzky. Both achievements occurred in the same season, creating a unique situation where his two biggest stars were simultaneously chasing historic milestones. Their parallel pursuits reminded fans of how their careers had been intertwined since entering the league together in 2005. The timing of both milestones seemed fitting for two players whose rivalry had defined an entire hockey. The different nature of their milestone achievements captured what made their rivalry so compelling. Ovechkin's 700 goals represented individual excellence in shooting prowess few players could match. Crosby's 1,000 assists demonstrated his ability to create opportunity for us and make everyone around him better. Both achievements were equally impressive but showcased contrasting approaches to hockey greatness. These milestone chases also highlighted the longevity and sustained excellence both players had maintained throughout. Number 3. 2017 versus 2018 Stanley Cup Finals, the championship divide. The consecutive Stanley Cup Finals of 2017 and 2018 created one of the most significant chapters in the Crosby-Ovechkin rivalry. These back-to-back championship contests highlighted the different paths their careers had taken and intensified the debate about which player was more successful when it mattered most. The outcomes would dramatically alter how both superstars were perceived in hockey history. The 2017 Stanley Cup Finals featured Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins against the Nashville Predators. Crosby had already captured one championship in 2009, but this playoff run demonstrated his evolution into a complete leader capable of carrying his team through difficult series. His performance throughout the 2017 playoffs included 27 points in 25 games and clutch scoring in elimination situations. While Crosby was competing for his second Stanley Cup, Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals were eliminated in the second round of the 2017 playoffs. The early exit continued a pattern of playoff disappointments that had defined Ovechkin's career despite his regular season excellence. Critics questioned whether his individual-focused playing style translated to team success in the pressure-packed playoff environment. Pittsburgh's victory in the 2017 Stanley Cup Finals gave Crosby his second championship and established him as one of the premier playoff performers of his generation. His ability to elevate his game during the most important contests contrasted sharply with Ovechkin's struggles in elimination games. The championship also made Crosby just the fifth player in NHL history to win the Stanley Cup, Olympic gold, and World Championship gold. The 2018 season presented Ovechkin with another opportunity to prove his playoff capabilities. Washington entered the postseason with high expectations but also carried a burden of previous disappointments. Many hockey analysts predicted another early exit for a team that had consistently failed to advance beyond the second round during Ovechkin's tenure as captain. Meanwhile, Crosby and Pittsburgh were seeking to become the first team since the 1980s Edmonton Oilers to win 3 consecutive Stanley Cup championships. Their experience and championship pedigree made them favorites to repeat as champions. Crosby's playoff track record and leadership abilities were expected to guide Pittsburgh through another successful postseason campaign. The 2018 playoffs unfolded differently than most observers predicted. Pittsburgh was eliminated in the second round by the Washington Capitals in a 6-game series that finally saw Ovechkin defeat his longtime rival in a playoff matchup. The victory represented a breakthrough moment for Ovechkin and Washington, proving they could overcome their historical playoff struggles when facing quality opposition. Washington's run to the 2018 Stanley Cup Finals marked the culmination of years of playoff disappointment and criticism. Ovechkin played some of the best hockey of his career during the postseason, scoring crucial goals and providing leadership that had been questioned throughout his career. The finals appearance represented validation for his approach to the game and answered critics who doubted his playoff capabilities. The contrasting fortunes of 2017 and 2018 perfectly illustrated the unpredictable nature of their rivalry. Crosby's early success in capturing multiple championships had established him as a more accomplished player, while Ovechkin's breakthrough finally provided him with the opportunity to compete for hockey's ultimate prize. These consecutive seasons set the stage for the most important moment in their competitive relationship. Number 2. Ovechkin's 2018 Stanley Cup victory. The 2018 Stanley Cup Finals represented the culmination of Alexander Ovechkin's career-long quest to capture hockey's ultimate prize. After years of playoff disappointments and questions about his ability to lead a team to championship success, Ovechkin finally had the opportunity to silence his critics and achieve the goal that had eluded him for 13 professional seasons. Washington entered the Stanley Cup Finals against the Vegas Golden Knights, carrying the weight of franchise history and personal expectations. The Capitals had never won a Stanley Cup in their 44-year existence, and Ovechkin had become the face of that championship drought. His individual excellence had never translated to team success in the playoffs, creating a narrative that overshadowed his remarkable regular season achievements. The finals began with Washington falling behind 2-1, a deficit that would have ended many previous Capitals playoff runs. However, this team showed a resilience and determination that had been missing from earlier Ovechkin-led squads. The veteran core players rallied around their captain, and Ovechkin responded with some of the best playoff hockey of his career. Game 4 in Las Vegas became a turning point in both the series and Ovechkin's legacy. He scored a crucial power play goal and provided the physical presence and emotional leadership that lifted his teammates when they needed it most. His celebration after scoring showed the pure joy and relief of a player who finally understood that championship success was within reach. Washington won Game 4 and carried that momentum back home for Game 5. The Capital One Arena crowd created an electric atmosphere as the city sensed that their first major professional sports championship in decades was possible. Ovechkin played inspired hockey throughout the contest, contributing offensively while also demonstrating the defensive commitment that had been questioned earlier in his career. The Capitals won Game 5 to take a 3-2 series lead, putting them one victory away from their first Stanley Cup championship. The magnitude of the moment was not lost on Ovechkin, who had spent his entire career working toward this opportunity. His leadership throughout the playoffs had transformed public perception about his ability to succeed in pressure situations. Game 6 in Las Vegas provided Ovechkin with the championship moment he had dreamed about since childhood. Washington defeated Vegas 4-3 to capture the Stanley Cup, and Ovechkin's emotional reaction became one of the most memorable images in hockey history. His tears of joy and passionate celebration showed what the championship meant to a player who had endured years of criticism and disappointment. The Stanley Cup victory validated Ovechkin's entire career and silenced critics who had questioned his playoff capabilities. His 15 goals during the 2018 postseason led all players and demonstrated that he could perform at the highest level when his team needed him most. The championship also established him as one of the greatest goal scorers in NHL history, while proving that individual excellence could translate to team success. Sidney Crosby was among the first players to congratulate Ovechkin after the championship victory, showing the mutual respect that had always defined their rivalry. Crosby's genuine happiness for his longtime competitor demonstrated the class and sportsmanship that made their competitive relationship special. The moment represented acknowledgement from one champion to another that Ovechkin had finally achieved the success his talents deserved. Number 1. Respect moment. 2019 AllSkills Competition. The 2019 NHL All-Star Skills Competition provided the perfect stage for the most defining moment of the Crosby-Ovechkin rivalry. What occurred during the hardest shot competition transcended their years of competition and revealed the deep mutual respect that had always existed beneath their competitive fire. This moment showed hockey fans that their rivalry had been built on admiration rather than animosity. The setting was the Enterprise Center in St. Louis during All-Star Weekend, with both players participating in various competitions throughout the evening. Ovechkin winning his title in the hardest shot competition, an event that perfectly showcased legendary shooting power. His rocket shot had become his signature skill, and he took pride in demonstrating his shooting ability on hockey's biggest stage. Crosby was not officially entered in the hardest shot competition, as his skills were better suited for other events that highlighted his playmaking and accuracy abilities. However, when Ovechkin's turn came to shoot, something unexpected happened that would create one of the most memorable moments in All-Star history. As Ovechkin prepared for his attempt, Crosby skated over and retrieved a puck for his longtime rival. The simple gesture might have gone unnoticed in a regular game, but in the context of their 13th rivalry, it represented something much more significant. Crosby was literally helping his greatest competitor succeed in front of a national television audience. Ovechkin launched his shot, recorded a speed of 101.3 miles per hour, winning the hardest shot competition for the second consecutive year. After his victory was announced, he turned to acknowledge Crosby, who had remained near to watch the result. The two players shared a moment of genuine appreciation that spoke to their relationship beyond hockey. The interaction lasted only a few seconds, but it perfectly captured the essence of their rivalry. Despite being against each other for nearly 2 decades, both always maintained respect for each other's abilities and achievements. They had pushed each other to reach levels of excellence that might not have been possible without such high-quality competition. This moment represented the maturation of their relationship from young rivals to veteran champions who understood their place in hockey history. Both players had achieved individual and team success, eliminating the need for personal animosity or manufactured drama. They could appreciate each other's talents while still competing fiercely when their teams met. The respect shown during the 2019 All-Star Skills Competition became symbolic of how their rivalry had elevated both players throughout their careers. Neither was without the motivation provided by competing against someone of equal talent and ambition. Their competition had made both better players and better people. Hockey fans witnessed something special during that all weekend in St. Louis. The moment showed that the greatest rivalries are built on mutual respect and shared excellence rather than hatred or personal dislike. Crosby and Ovechkin had spent their careers competing against each other while admiring each other's unique gifts. This all-star moment marked the beginning of a new phase in their relationship, one where they could openly express mutual respect while still maintaining their competitive edge. It proved that their rivalry had always been about pushing each other. The rivalry between Sidney Crosby and Alexander Ovechkin represents more than just a competition between two exceptional hockey players. Their 18-year battle for supremacy defined an entire generation of NHL hockey and demonstrated how individual excellence can elevate an entire sport. The numbers tell part of their remarkable story, but statistics alone cannot capture the full impact of their competitive relationship. Crosby finished his career with over 1,500 points and 3 Stanley Cup championships, establishing himself as one of the most complete players in hockey history. His ability to perform in clutch situations and make teammates better separated him from other elite players. Crosby's leadership qualities and hockey intelligence made him the face of the NHL during its most important growth period following the 2005 lockout. Ovechkin became the greatest goal scorer of his generation, surpassing 800 career goals and capturing the Stanley Cup championship that had eluded him for so many years. His powerful shot and aggressive playing style changed how the game was played and brought excitement to arenas across North America. Ovechkin's passionate celebrations and emotional approach to hockey made him one of the most popular players in sport. Both players transformed their franchises from struggling organizations into championship contenders. Pittsburgh and Washington became model franchises that other teams try to emulate, building around generational talents while adding complementary pieces. Their success proved that individual superstars could still drive team achievement in the salary cap era. The cultural impact of their rivalry extended far beyond hockey statistics and team success. Crosby and Ovechkin became the faces of NHL marketing campaigns and helped grow the sport's popularity in non-traditional hockey markets. Their different personalities and playing styles gave fans natural storylines to follow throughout nearly 2 decades of competition. Their rivalry also influenced how the NHL developed and promoted young talent. The success of both players showed that drafting and developing elite prospects could transform franchises and create lasting competitive advantages. Teams began investing more heavily in scouting and player development programs to find the next Crosby or Ovechkin. International hockey benefited enormously from their competition, as both players became central figures for their national teams. Crosby's Olympic gold medal and world championship victories made him a Canadian hockey legend. Ovechkin's world championship gold and consistent international performance established him as one of Russia's greatest hockey ambassadors. The respect they showed for each other throughout their careers became a model for how elite athletes should compete. Despite their fierce on-ice battles, both players consistently praised each other's abilities and achievements in public settings. Their sportsmanship demonstrated that rivals could push each other toward excellence while maintaining personal dignity and professional respect. As both players approach the end of their careers, their legacy becomes clearer with each passing season. They will both be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame as soon as they become eligible, joining the greatest players in hockey history. More importantly, they showed that individual rivalries can benefit everyone involved when built on mutual respect and shared pursuit of excellence. The Crosby-Ovechkin era will be remembered as one of the golden periods in NHL history. 2 generational talents entered the league at the perfect time and spent nearly 2 decades pushing each other toward greatness. Hockey fans were fortunate to witness their competition, and the sport is better because both players chose to define their rivalry through respect rather than animosity.